I think we're good. Yeah. Hi.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to D20 Air, where we roll dice before one of our internet goes out. My name is Kate. I'm the DM.
My name is Alice. I play Tam the Half-Orc Bard.
My name is Jess, and I play Nora the Human Wizard.
My name is Jules, and I play Ren the Elven Ranger.
My name's Maddie, and I play Val the Tiefling Druid.
My name is Miller, and I play Augie the Human Paladin. I really missed that, guys.
We're all here. Oh my gosh. It's been too long, you guys. This is great. Before we get started, we have like 2 announcements, I think. The first being we have new art.
Yeah.
Nikki so graciously drew me a picture of my beautiful baby Val when she was a little girl on a swing, and it's really, really cute, and I absolutely love it, and it was a great birthday present. So thank you, Mickey, for the beautiful art.
Yes, thank you so much, Mickey.
Also, Mickey's doing like Inktober, but for Critical Role, and they did a Nora Caleb art.
It was so good.
I know there was another
Angsty
piece.
Fire Wizard.
Oh, we love Angsty Fire Wizards. Ginger Angsty Fire Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Did you
another
mean to make
part.
Caleb, or was that an accident?
It was a complete
We
accident.
both made Caleb. Put our characters together.
That's true. Oh. And Mickey did another piece of art. I can't remember what it was. But Mickey's just amazing.
Yeah.
Agreed. Oh yeah, and the other announcement was that so there's a small coffee startup called Found Familiar, and they make like D&D themed coffee. You can go to their website. I think it's just foundfamiliar.com and buy their coffee. But I don't know if I can actually announce this yet. I haven't asked.
Ooh.
I've never done this sort of thing. I'm not going to announce it yet, but maybe just check out that website though. Maybe just check out the website.
Tease.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tease. I just realized.
Wow.
Well, one thing is, if you do go to that website, you can see Jules's art on their website. There's like a little cosplay and art thing.
Yes. There it is.
And that's all we'll say about that.
Don't want to spill too many beans. Gotta keep some beans for myself.
Celery, asparagus, and watercress, and lemongrass, and lemons. Okay. I have all of Into the Woods memorized. I apologize. If you start Into the Woods, I will finish it. Okay. So, any more announcements, or should we just get into it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, last we left off. One sec, I need to sneeze.
Bless you.
Okay, last we left off. The tavern had recently suffered kind of a catastrophic event wherein the Feywild and the Prime Material Plane converged in a very strange series of events. After traveling through the astral sea, they came to and discovered that the town that they were in was suddenly overrun with meanlocks. And so running through, trying to get away, trying to save as many people as they can. The town of Valashi, which is the place that they were currently staying in for the news cycle, all scattered into houses. Not everyone making it, some people being dragged away. This happening as soon as this horde and stampede of meanlocks was gone. The group, having recombined and tried to find them quickly, a few hours later set off after the meanlocks. We're discovering about, I think it was like a day's travel or half a day's travel later, a very large gorge, cavernous, big divide. And seen down there were lots of bundles of bodies wrapped up in almost like silk-like things and surrounded by 100 or so meanlock, quickly using a tool at their disposal, which was a small chest that had the ability to hold sounds, set off a distraction wherein the group dived into the cavernous thing and tried to save as many bodies as they can. Nora almost dying twice, or multiple times, 3 times, and Augie almost dying once.
Once, yeah, or twice.
And
Who knows?
eventually, by the skin of their teeth, escaping and getting on a cart with one of the bundles and drastically riding off into the night. Or was it the night? I think it was like day. But anyways, with their flumps in tow, if you guys remember, you also have flumps with you. So you all track, not even daring to look back. You hear the rumbling of the meanlock as they begin to chase after, as you all are riding this cart as fast as you can go. After a while, the rumbling seems to decrease and decrease a bit more and more as the horses that you are riding seem to be pulling further and further ahead until you stop for a moment and listen, and it doesn't seem that they're rumbling anymore. You slow the horses down, and now you're giving them a moment to rest, but still walking and still trotting back to the town. Looking around at this, you take a moment to all of a sudden feel like you feel all the cuts and scrapes covered in blood, maybe feeling the ache in your bones as you begin to even try to process what just happened. So, what would you guys like to do?
Can we check who we saved? We saved one person.
You can try. The going and looking at the bundle, it's very, very tightly woven. It's almost, and looking at it, while it looks like it's wrapped in like spider silk thread, looking at it, it's almost more like it's solidified, that it almost looks like a flaky cocoon. You could probably try and peel, as you try and like peel, it kind of makes like a, it's kind of sticky, and you see the little tendrils of sap and stickiness oozing off of it as you begin to peel. Peeling more and more. You find, are you going all the way in?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Peeling back, it takes you a good 10, 15 minutes, but eventually you get to see vaguely human features just absolutely covered in goop, and it looks as though there's a thing already beginning to harden around them. It looks almost like a bug trapped in amber, but you can vaguely make out a humanoid.
Can I see if there's a pulse? Can I put my hand?
Yeah. You can certainly try. You'd have to, I would say, like, you can, it's covered in amber. So it's like there's a person inside of it. You know how in like movies and stuff when someone's frozen in ice and it's kind of vague and you can kind of see a figure? It's sort of like that.
I'm gonna take my dagger and just try and get into it.
Okay. Make a dexterity check. Because you're not using strength, you're trying to use dex to...
No, just it's 4.
Oh my god.
A 4. You go and use your dagger and ting, ting, but nothing more than little bits of, just little chunks are falling off.
Can I give it a shot? Because I also have a dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. That's a natural 1.
Oh my
Natural 1.
god.
Yeah.
You go and try to ting, 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 and it works for a little bit, and then you hear ting, and you're thinking you broke through it, but you look and the dagger's just completely, the blade is separated completely from it.
Okay, goodbye dagger.
Maybe we should leave this to someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, let's bring this person, I don't know, to Nali, I suppose.
I'm gonna throw a healing word onto them. I don't really expect it to do anything, but hopefully it'll make me feel better.
Cool.
When we're
How many points?
I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, sorry. Someone say something?
How many points of healing is that?
Oh, sorry. That's that is oh god, it's been a time. 8 points of healing.
Okay. I will say that you do feel the effect of the spell take hold.
Okay.
I am going to sit down next to Nora. I'm gonna put my hand on her shoulder, and I'm gonna.
Are you guys still moving in the cart, or are you stop? Are you stopping now?
I think we're
I
still
think we're in the cart.
We'll go.
Okay. Who's driving?
Val.
Okay. Thank you.
Millie, you're a little muffled.
I'm muffled. Okay.
Just a little bit.
I'll do that in a second. But I'm gonna cast a second level for wounds.
Before you do that, or as you're doing it, Nora grabs hold of your wrist. Can we not do that, please? I'm kind of tired of the healing magic. So,
Yeah. Sorry.
It's just weird when you fall off a cliff and all your bones break, and then the next second they're all back together again, and it fucks with your head a little bit. So I think I'm just gonna heal the human way from now on.
Sure.
Is she visibly bleeding anywhere? Or, what does the state know that?
Right now.
Can we see a wound?
Probably. She's at 10 hit points.
Okay, so Ren's gonna go over. Does anyone have bandages? Oh, I don't know, medical supplies. He's gonna unwind his own bandages and put him on whatever wounds he can find. And just, if you're going to heal the human way, we can at least try to speed it up.
I'm just going to grab Nora's hand, but I'm not going to cast anything.
I will untangle my wrappings and offer them to Ren to put on Nora.
We'll do that. Should I make a medicine check, or is this just...
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. Cool.
Should Val make one too, or advantage or something?
I'll give you advantage because they're helping.
Are we in a forest? Oh wait, no, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. 20.
But you already get advantage. So
Yeah, that's true. 20.
yeah, very gingerly, very carefully, but still firm and tight. It's clear that you've had this kind of expertise before, and it's reminiscent of your time traveling with her when it was just the two of you. You carefully wrap the wounds. Nora, it stings a little bit at first, but then the dull throb, and you can feel the heartbeat in your arms as he's doing this, but eventually it does begin to feel better under pressure.
Have I seen Ren without his bandages on before?
No, absolutely not.
What's beneath the bandages?
Why don't you make a perception check?
Oh.
Because you are on a moving cart. Yeah, so technically, actually, Ren, that's a good point. You were going to be given disadvantage for the medicine check, but because they were helping, that was a straight roll. And then because you were in the forest, that gave you advantage.
11.
I'd say, Ren, if you want to give like a vague description, it's an 11, so not very.
Okay, I won't give specifics, but it's a wide variety of scars.
Okay.
Okay, what time of day is it? And have we been traveling long enough to have a, like, do we need a rest?
It's been, by your perception, given your frame of time,
Yeah.
it would be about, I think you guys took a long rest, if I remember correctly, before heading out after the meanlock.
Yeah.
So given that, then it was probably about anywhere from like 6 to 8 hours to get to where the meanlock are, given how fast you were traveling and you were being stealthy. So
Yeah.
I'd say yeah. It's definitely you have. I'd say it's about night at this time.
Okay.
And in fact, given how tired a lot of you are, regardless of what time it is, you are all exhausted. You don't have to mechanically take a point of exhaustion, but you're tired.
Sorry, I don't know if you mentioned this, but how far out are we from town? Like from Valashi, do we know?
Given your perception, as far as you know, you'd be about 6 hours out from town.
Oof, okay, yeah, we need a rest. I was like, for a half hour, let's keep going. Okay.
Should we make a camp?
Yeah, let's try to be hidden. We don't really know what's out here. Nora, do you have it in you to cast that ball thing that you do?
Let me check. Yeah, I do.
Okay. So can we like pull over the cart?
Sorry, that
and,
was
like...
character.
I do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
Nora sitting there clutching her bandages covered in blood. Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna take the horses and kind of like lean them off into the forest a little bit, not like too far off of like a path, but like kind of just hidden a little bit, and then have them stop.
And can Ren like try to cover the cart as best he can and make it look like part of the foliage?
Sure. Make a. Let's do a survival check, which you get advantage on being in the forest.
Oh, guys, I missed this game.
Whilst you guys are doing that,
18.
Nora can like try to wipe the blood off her hands, and then starts drawing symbols in the dirt to try and create this hut. After about 10 minutes, a dome appears, and she colors it to this kind of the closest color of the natural surroundings that she can get.
I've got.
So it's like a kind of a darkish brownish greenish. You're pretty deep in the forest, and it is nighttime, so it's a little. It's a bit dark, yeah.
And I got an 18 to cover the cart.
Yeah. It looks pretty good. It's you think that anybody passing it will pass it by without a second glance. Also, given especially how deep in the forest you guys are.
Tam's gonna go up to Nora when she sees her try to rub the blood off her hands and pull out a raw skin and just pour a little bit in her hand and pour a little bit in Nora's as well, and just like rub the blood off both of them and be like, you might feel a little bit more human without all that on you.
Is there like, can I make a check for like a river or like a puddle somewhere?
Puddles.
Puddle.
Yeah. Are you gonna go searching for it or just looking around?
just within the kind of vicinity. I'm not going to go.
Make a perception or investigation check, whichever is.
10
And what's that, perception or investigation?
investigation.
Okay. There isn't a big roaring river per se, but looking around, you do find what is like it's like a small stream that seems to be coming from one of the nearby trees. This tree actually it looks different than the other ones that are around the forest. It seems even the combination of these two planes is even affecting things out here. And you see that the leaves themselves are almost a translucent kind of opalescent looking thing. And along one of the twigs, there's just a steady stream of water flowing down and away.
She's just going to cup some of it in her hands, wash the blood off her arms and her face, remove any outer layers of clothing that have too much blood on them, and leave the rest.
Taking off the cloak and most of the stuff that's covered, you do notice now running along from about mid of the neck down along the collarbone and a little bit further down, there's a very, very deep, long gash that will probably scar.
Okay.
Ren's
I
gonna just
feel
go.
like as a player you want a scar. I'm sorry.
Sure.
So seeing that, Ren's gonna go up to Augie and say, like, you had a bit of a rough time too. Maybe you'll feel better doing the same thing.
Yeah, I'll be okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
Why don't you use that spell on yourself? You look a little rough still.
Thanks. Thanks.
You don't have to bear it just because she does. It's
I know that it's weird, but having, hurting yourself and being healed, but
oh, I know. I don't think it was anything directed at you. I think it was just. It's been a hard few hours. What you do is actually incredibly important. You've saved our lives countless times with that exact magic. So I don't think it was meant to be an insult to you so much as just she needed to be away from it. And I think you should use it on yourself if you feel you need to, okay? You don't need to hold back.
And with that, I'm going to pass a second level cure wounds. That's 12 points.
Okay. So, are you casting that on yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, you take a second and let the familiar warmth course through you. But even though it's the same familiar warm sensation, you can't help but shiver afterwards. Kind of just letting Nora's words from earlier kind of play back in your head.
Thanks.
Why don't Nora and Augie get a proper night's sleep, and then the others, us three, can take watches?
Sure. I can take the first watch if I think I took the least damage. So why don't everyone else
All right.
sleep and I'll take care
I
of
can take the
this.
first watch.
You sure?
Yeah. I didn't take a lot of damage.
Okay.
I'll go last then.
Sure.
Okay.
So, first watch people, roll for
Perception?
perception. Jules gets advantage because you're in the forest. Maddie, I don't remember. I think you have dark vision, right?
I do.
Yeah, then you don't have to roll at disadvantage. So
I got a 16.
16.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I got a 12.
Okay.
We're not
You
feeling
guys
very
have-
well.
No.
Do you guys have anything that you would like to do during this watch, or just perception? Do you guys have anything? Or
Sorry, what?
Oh,
Oh, sorry. I was reading something. Okay, so I'll just sort of check in with Val as well. How are you after all of that?
all right. I guess I didn't really deal with the meanlock head on, so
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty all right.
That's good.
You doing all right?
I didn't take very many hits.
Good.
I can't help but think this is my fault.
Why? Why would you think it's your fault?
I mean, I pushed us to do this. I just wanted to
Yeah,
do something good, you know? It was so clear. They took people. We're an adventuring party. We can get those people back. I just didn't.
If we didn't want to go, we wouldn't have gone. It doesn't matter whether you persuaded us or not. I think we would have gone anyway.
I don't know if that's true for her.
Nora? You don't think Nora would have gone?
She was reluctant. I think she was only there because I was pushing.
Well, she came anyway. Even being reluctant, she just stood there and she still fought. So.
She did.
At least we got one person.
We got one person. I really, really hope they survive, because if they don't.
Hoping they survive. We'll hopefully find somebody that'll be able to figure out how to get them out of that thing.
Yeah. I think that's it.
that's it. Okay. Nearing the end of your first watch, Ren, you hear just the faintest bit of tapping and scraping
From
close by, a little bit from behind you, kind of in the direction of, you look around and you think maybe it's the horses, but they seem to be sleeping and it doesn't seem to be.
Can I just check real quick on our cargo? Yeah.
Okay.
Is it coming from our cargo? Our person?
As you go over to the cart, the little gets just a little bit louder, and you see as the kind of ambered, trapped person, it seems as though it's vibrating just a little bit, just rocking slightly back and forth.
Do I see a crack forming anywhere?
Make a perception check. Or investigation, actually. Let's make this investigation because you're 15.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, well, 18.
18. There seems to be a teeny tiny one forming just at the base of where like you perceive the feet to be.
Okay. Can I? Can I just kind of try to work it open? I probably have like a dagger. I think I have a blade of some kind. Can I just try to like gently, like trying not to hurt the person underneath, try to work it open?
Yeah. Go ahead and make a dex check.
Okay. Wait, what's my dex?
I think you've got a short sword. So
I have
two
some
of
kind of. Oh, natural one.
Oh fuck!
you guys
Why
are
are we
not
so bad at this?
it's a really tough, like it's a tough amber, and even though that crack's forming, you try and wedge it in and it just, you now have one of your short swords just sticking out of this thing. You can't get it out though, it's just wedged in there.
Okay, can I carried this person up, so I can probably lift them, right? Like, okay, so the cart was outside the bubble, so can I grab them and bring them back into the bubble with me? And just... Okay, and just lay them down.
You take it and kind of drag it.
Gently. Just lay them down and be like, to Val, because Val was on watch with me. I'll just be like, I think they're breaking out of this. I heard something. I think... Do you see this crack? I couldn't get it open, but...
The tapping, by the way, is continuing.
Can I attempt to get the whack the crack? I have a scimitar.
Do you think, Val?
Because you guys have had 3 failed things, you can try. The DC is going to be much higher.
Well, hang on, Val. Do you think that like freezing a section of it would make it more brittle or something? I don't know. Could you try it? Do I recognize like what material this is? Like, is it actually amber?
Nature check. Make a nature check.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm actually not very good at that.
You're a ranger.
15. I know, right? I was an indoor ranger.
True.
Fair. So looking at this, it doesn't seem to be amber with a 15. It doesn't seem to be amber, and it doesn't look like sap. It doesn't look like something that originated from like a plant or over time. It looks as though it's made from something. It looks made. It looks constructed, but other than that, you can't really, based on context clues. Wait, how high's your wisdom?
Me? Wisdom? +3.
Oh, okay. Based on context clues, you can assume that it's probably something by the meanlock, but what exactly, you're not sure.
Might as well try it. I don't know.
Would icing it work better, or should I try heating it?
I don't want to burn the person inside, but if you can heat it in a controlled way, maybe it would soften.
Can I do a nature
Make
check?
a nature check.
Yeah.
Which one of those would work?
Whether it would, yeah.
Hot or cold? Okay. 17.
Temperature. Ooh.
17. Looking at it pretty quickly, it's already a very brittle surface, and you get the feeling that freezing it would just increase that process.
Okay. So I am going to attempt to... Can I just use frostbite, I guess, on it? Or would that work?
Yeah, you can use frostbite.
Well, is that an attack spell? Do you have like a cantrip or something?
That is a cantrip.
Oh, it is a cantrip. Okay, well, I don't know.
It's a cantrip. Yeah. It's got 60 feet of range. It's a 2d6.
Thanks. We could stand way the fuck back.
Yeah. So I'm gonna cast frostbite.
I'm sorry. I want to make sure, because I think maybe this was me being clear. You get the feeling that I like making it colder would just increase the effect.
Increase the effect of
Cracking or making it harder?
making it harder.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So we're gonna not do that.
So
I'm
maybe
sorry.
not ice.
I was like,
No.
You worded it a little weird and it kind of screwed me up. So
Got it.
instead of frostbite, I'm gonna use produce flame.
okay.
And I'm gonna yeah,
Be careful. That's all.
I'm gonna cast it at not directly where the crack is, but kind of a little crack here, flame over here.
Okay. So you take it and you watch as a small little flame, it's actually blue, appears in Val's hand and begins to go over. And it takes a few minutes, but after a while you see a little drip, 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 drip. And you see as it's not necessarily cracking as much as melting. And slowly, if you work over the next, I'd say 2 hours, you can probably get it to a point of getting both hands inside you. Make a strength check and try and get it out.
Sorry to interrupt, but probably worth noting, you would have to do all of this outside the hut because when the hut was made, the person wasn't inside, and so you wouldn't be able to take that person inside the hut.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess we could do that.
Is it not that you can just, whoever the caster is okay with? Let me check that really fast.
Okay, the caster's asleep. And the caster can't.
Within the dome, when you cast a spell, can move through it freely. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it.
Okay.
So we can stay behind the barrier with my hand sticking out of it.
I can, yeah.
Because that sounds like a safe bet if it's a monster. And then
Unless you woke me up and got me to recast it, you wouldn't be able to take the person inside.
I think we're going to do keep the arms out of the thing and have the person in the crystal.
Okay. Yep, you're right. So, yeah. We'll just say retroactively you try to pull it in and you're like, oh, that's right. And so you lay it down. So working for the next 2 hours. At this point, do you guys want to continue in the first watch or would you like to wake up the second watch?
Ren can go for another couple hours.
I'm going to go for another 2 hours to open up the human being. So
Okay.
I'll keep on sleeping.
So if it's largely a Val task, I'll be there watching and making sure nothing bad happens, but I'll also do the perceptioning since Val is concentrating.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it 16? Okay. You don't see anything.
Sure.
So over the next 2 hours, you take the next 2 hours to do it, and eventually you see as the amber-like substance begins to melt down to the point of, it looks almost like you can see the teeniest bit of leather peeking out of the bottom. And if you get someone strong enough, it's a strength check. But from there, if you want to go on the rest of the night, take a point of exhaustion, you could continue to melt this. Or if you get someone with a high enough strength check to open it, then
I think I will try to get Augie to do it because I would like some sleep.
Yeah, okay. So did Augie say next watch?
It was me, but I can keep sleeping.
We can juggle. Yeah. Okay. We'll wake Augie up.
Well, Augie actually isn't sleeping, but he's pretending to sleep.
Oh no.
okay.
Oh no.
So you guys go over and wake up Augie.
How do I explain this? We need your help to pry open the sack with the person in it. We've been melting it. Please.
Oh, Okay, got
Cal
it.
just stands there like this.
Is someone trying to open something?
Oh yeah, sorry, that's me.
It sounded like you were just.
I can give you sound effects if you want.
Yeah. Open this sack.
Let's go.
It's
Exactly
ASMR.
like rustling plastic.
I thought you were taking a packing peanut and literally just like running it in between your fingers for a minute.
Okay. So, yeah, Augie, you walk over and you see what is essentially it's the person encased in this substance, but you now see kind of like a melted chocolate bar or a melted toffee bar at the bottom. It's a little. There seems to be enough place that if you angled it correctly, you would be able to actually get inside and take it out, which would be much easier than attacking it from the sides. So go ahead and roll strength check.
I got a 15.
15? You struggle and you can hear it kind of whining but it's not fully going as much as you'd like it to.
What if I took one side and you took the other?
Oh, yeah. Let's try that.
Could I give him advantage?
Roll again with advantage, yeah.
Cool.
One more try.
I'm just gonna stand and watch.
Natural 20.
Wow!
Hey!
Hell yeah.
You two take a second and gain your footing on either side. Look each other in the eyes and go 1, 2, 3. And as you push, or as you pull, it goes, and it's a very loud sound. Splinters and shards of this go flying. You kind of close your eyes and look away as it's kind of sprinkling everywhere. And you feel, or you hear, as you look and see that there is a woman covered in it's still covered in this goo, but she almost looks like tinted green from the color of this. It wasn't fully hardened on the inside quite yet, and you see she's breathing barely, but she is breathing and very, very short breaths, actually, just hyperventilating, not eyes not open, not doing nothing, not moving, just breathing.
What is she wearing, out of curiosity?
It looks as though she's wearing kind of like a blue kind of dress, and pretty basic, like some kind of very tattered apron around her waist.
Mimi's sister was wearing pink. Does she have a pink ribbon on her?
It doesn't look like it.
It's so no pink ribbon.
So I don't think it's.
Her hair is kind of darker. She's got kind of copper skin and dark brown hair with a little bit of looks like almost like silver kind of straight through it. She looks in her like 50s, mid 50s or so.
She's alive.
I think this is the little girl's mom.
You think? They said she was wearing a pink ribbon, but maybe she lost it.
She also has streaks in her hair.
Hmm?
She also has streaks in her hair.
Okay. Maybe this is her.
Can I take like the end of my coat or whatever and just kind of attempt to gingerly wipe the goop off of her face so she has more breathing area?
Okay. Yeah, I won't make you roll for goop. But make a goop check for me, please. Oh god.
Oh no.
So you take it carefully, kind of like wipe it off and kind of wipe it off your hand. And you see she calms down a little bit, but doesn't open her eyes, doesn't respond, is just
kind of breathing mellowed out a little bit, or is it still
mellowed out a little bit? Yeah.
The real question.
She might just need to rest for a while.
Her airways are clear, right?
Yes.
That was what I was concerned about.
Okay.
I was just gonna ask what time it was. I guess
Given your perception, it's about middle of the night, a little bit past. Like, again, it's a little bit difficult to tell based on just like the moon and general surroundings because of the effect of the Feywild.
Mhm.
But as far as you know, given your internal time clock, it's a little bit past.
Okay.
It's late.
It's late. Maybe we should retire for the night. And Oggy, if there's any major change, don't be afraid to wake up. If you see any, if she wakes up or something, or if she takes a turn for the worst, let us know.
All right.
I'm gonna take my jacket off and I'm gonna roll it up in a little ball and I'm just gonna lift her head up and just slide under her head and then I'll go to bed.
Yeah, Ren will add his cloak. He's just stripping tonight, bit by bit. I'll go lie on the ground, fall into meditation.
All right.
Take a nap.
Okay. So first watch ends. Second watch, so that would be Augie.
I guess me now.
Yep. Go ahead and roll with disadvantage.
Disadvantage? Cool.
Yeah, because you don't have night vision.
I see. That would be 6.
Oh no.
You're a little distracted by what's been happening, what just recently transpired, and as well as breaking this woman out. You're a bit concerned and just you're in your own world right now. But your watch comes to a close, seemingly uneventful. Nothing as far as you can tell. But again, you're a little distracted. All right. So third watch comes. Augie, are you going to sleep or are you staying up?
Now we'll go to sleep, probably.
Okay. Then the rest of the party, you guys are okay. Never mind. We'll get to that when we get there. Third watch is that?
Oh wait, actually no, he's not going to sleep.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So Tam, your third watch, right?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay.
Do I notice the woman, or is that too far away?
I'll give her a rundown.
She's right.
Yeah, give it the 411.
We tried to break her out, and she's out.
Oh.
Yeah, she's kind of covered in goop. We think she might be the little boy's mom.
Oh. Okay. That feels good, but also bad because that means we didn't get Mimi's sister.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, good job. You need to go to sleep. You look awful.
Thanks.
No offense.
No, it's fine. It was rough.
Yeah. How are you?
You know, doing okay.
I mean, I got told recently that it's okay to not be okay. I'm not very good at taking that advice, but maybe you could.
No, really. Listen, I'm okay.
All right, go to sleep.
Okay.
Promise. All right. I rolled perception and I rolled a 2, which makes it a 2.
Okay. So why are you distracted?
I think Tam just sits there and thinks about how scared she was, and it's not a feeling she likes to admit to very much. But she was so frightened, and she still is. And part of her just wants to run away as far from the meanlock and as far from where they came from as possible. But she just keeps her feet planted on the ground.
All right. And you rolled a 2?
I rolled a 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing.
Cool.
Yeah. As far as you guys can tell, there's
All right.
Okay.
At the end of my watch, before everybody else gets up, I'm just gonna go over to the lady and check how she's doing.
Okay. Make a medicine check.
Okay. Oh, 15.
15.
Yeah.
She looks to be asleep right now. Either it looks as though she's not choosing to sleep, but rather her body dealt with so much trauma and so much stress in a short amount of time that it basically has effectively forced her into a nice rest. But
micro coma.
yeah, basically. Looking over, she doesn't seem to have any distinct extreme cuts or scrapes or anything that's causing her harm, just in general cold and tired and body just unable to move.
Okay. Tam's just gonna take off her coat jacket thing and put it over her, and then go back and wake everybody else up.
Okay. So Vel needs to sleep an extra 2 hours to gain the full benefits of a long rest. But everyone else, you gain the effects of a long rest, except for Augie. You take a point of exhaustion and do not gain any of the benefits of a long rest. I applaud.
Cool.
I applaud your commitment to
character. Yeah.
God. So yeah, you're gonna need to sleep for another. You guys are gonna need to wait for another 2 hours for Val to get the effects of the full long rest.
Mhm.
Just a note.
We'll do that.
Okay.
Ren will forage some berries.
Hey, make a survival check or a nature. No, this is survival. If you forage them.
23. No, 21. 21.
21. You find some very nice bushes nearby that have some cloudberries.
Cute. I'll bring them back.
Okay. You guys watch as Ren brings back some simple berries. They're orange and they've got kind of brown flecks on them. They're kind of lumpy. They look a little bit like an orange and brown cloud.
Cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Wait.
For
Nora's
about
definitely asleep as well. Like, this girl isn't gonna wake up unless someone wakes her up. She's passed out.
that's no. About an hour. Sorry. I couldn't tell if it was just me or something. There was like, we're good. About an hour in, you all hear kind of just a and look over, and you see the woman just is asleep still, but takes a nice deep breath in.
Good.
Well, that's
Wait.
probably a good sign.
Yeah. She sounds better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So
for me, how is she looking?
you can make a medicine check.
I will make a medicine check.
When you say for me, are you meaning like you're trying to
Augie.
determine
Yeah.
if you're bad or?
I'd see if she needs any type of healing.
What'd you roll?
I got a 10.
10. You get the feeling that she's probably going to be malnourished if and when she wakes up, but other than that, just looks like she's tired. Similar to cases you've seen in the past, just completely depleted of energy and almost as though the life has kind of been sucked out of her a little bit and she's regaining it slowly. So another hour passes after that, and you see as Val slowly yawns, waking up.
And Ren will, I guess, go over and gently shake Nora awake.
No, you got to do what the little kid does at his mom at 3 a.m. where he just pokes her and she wakes up.
She would slap you.
Yeah, 100%. Ren knows from experience. It's time to go.
Does Nora see that the woman's like?
Yeah, she's not hidden. You see this you see this woman, this figure, just draped in like 3 or 4 cloaks of the rest of your party, just lying there almost comatose in front of the hut. Actually, the hut would be gone at this point.
Is she alive?
She's alive, and we think she might be the mother of those little... Are they halflings?
One of them was a halfling, and then there were 2. There was an older sister and a younger brother.
Right. Nata and Naka? Was that it?
Naka and Norlin.
Okay. Well, whatever she just said. I think this may be the mother of those children.
Oh, that's good. We better get her back. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
I'm going to get the horses up.
Are they the giraffes or the horses? Do we have the giraffes still?
Giraffe.
No, didn't we leave the giraffes with Nolly?
I think we did.
I think you left. If I recall, I think these are just regular horses.
Okay.
We found some horses and took them.
Cool. So Ren will help with that a little bit. Make sure Nora gets some berries.
They're tangy, but also a little sweet.
Are we like in the back of the cart, like riding?
Yeah.
Are you guys taking the woman with you?
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
We load her into the cart.
Of
course. Okay. As you go to lift her, you feel her body all of a sudden stiffen. And then she collapses and you see all of a sudden she begins to scramble using every force that she can to try and get away, but is very weak and falls down a few steps past that, but is still...
You're all right. Whoa.
It's okay.
You're fine. You're safe.
Water do you have?
Yes, I'll give her some water.
Okay. Not even for formalities, like someone who hasn't had water in weeks. Just take it.
Ren, can you give her the berries, maybe, if she's hungry?
Hungry? I give her whatever food I have. Yeah.
Yeah. it kind of turns over and kind of throws up a little bit of vial, and the berries that you immediately scarf down just needs to have something in her body, but due to the nature of how fast she's drinking and eating, just body rejects it and kind of just sitting there heaving, just after a few moments looks up and goes, thank you.
I'm gonna help her up and ask her, what's your name?
I'm Helene.
Helene?
Helene.
Helene.
Leen.
Okay.
Helene, do you have
Where are we?
We're in the forest. The creatures had taken you, and we went in to try and get people back. And we got you.
I remember it was screaming, and there was claws, and and she kind of grasps the back of her head. She goes, and I don't remember much.
Don't worry, don't push it.
Helene, do you have any children back in the village?
Yes, a boy and a girl have.
They're fine, by the
Yes.
way. Don't worry,
Okay.
they're fine.
Yeah. Okay. Do you? My husband, was he with them? Do you know?
I didn't see anyone, but that doesn't mean he wasn't there.
There was a big commotion. A
There was
lot of people were separated.
Disorder. Why don't we get you back as soon as we can? Are you fit to ride?
And she looks over and she's. Could I maybe just lay in the cart instead?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm sorry, I don't know. And she tries to stand up and kind of falls over again.
Is there going to be room for all of us in the cart?
It'll be tight, but yes, especially with the fact that you carried her earlier.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
And Moreau trotting on side, and then Floomps can float.
So, I guess we take off for the village.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys want to have it? Are you guys talking at all on the way back, or just?
Nora's gonna side eye Oggy. You didn't get very much sleep, did you?
Yeah. That obvious?
Well, you look like shit, so
Yeah, you're the second one to tell me that.
when you go through something traumatic like that, some people sleep it off and some people can't sleep at all. So I've heard. What you did yesterday was very brave, and I definitely wouldn't feel you hadn't stepped in. So thank you doesn't quite cut it, but I'll say it anyway.
That's it for me.
Good thing you saved my life, because I still have that story to tell you, and that would have been a shame. but I didn't get to do it.
Can I hear it now?
Like right now?
We could wait until we get back. But,
Yeah,
I'd like to hear it soon.
I'll tell you. Okay.
I'm sorry if I went to heal you. I should have asked.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't anything like that. I just it's weird when you go through something like that and then you come back and your clothes are clean because you magicked them clean and there's nothing on your body because you healed it away, and it's like it never happened, but it did.
Well, yes, but I mean, it always happens. May not be physically, maybe physically better, our clothes may be better, but doesn't mean it's any less traumatic. Can't wipe it away.
Yeah.
And I'm not okay. But yeah, I'll get better in my own time.
Like squeeze his hand.
I'm gonna squeeze back.
Anyone else?
While we're in the car, can I get a sense of whether Helene wants to talk? And if she doesn't, I will just let her rest and sleep.
Sure. Make an insight check.
Okay. That's a 5.
A 5? Hard to read,
Okay.
but she looks a bit confused, a little bit dazed, but not necessarily like she's not wanting to talk.
I'm gonna then just ask her and be like, do you remember what happened before everything got a bit fuzzy and fey-ish and weird? Were you at the festival as well?
I was, yes. I went with my daughter and my son. It was a normal day. My husband was working at the time, and so I was there, and we got a flower crown.
Okay. What do you do? What did you do? Do you have a trade?
Me? Oh, well, mostly I just watch over the children, my own and others in the village. If you want, I'm sort of a teacher. Actually,
Oh.
I run. It's a small building. It's mostly just teaching music,
Oh.
but not something very important to many. But
That's extremely important. That's the most important.
I agree.
Well, when you get back, you can get back to teaching, all right? once you healed and feeling better, obviously. But don't let the fact that you were stolen by awful monsters stop you doing that.
I realize I never got the chance to say thank you to all of you. You don't know me and I don't know you, but the fact that you all, I hope you don't mind, I overheard some of your fellow members talking about how hard this was, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And I'm sorry if I'm not the person that you were searching for, but I'm thankful. And if there's anything I can do to repay it.
Just yeah, it's fine. I don't know. We were searching for a lot of people, but also it doesn't matter. You're here, and you're here for a reason. So I'm glad we could save you.
Did you happen to see a man anywhere named Demetrius while you were in the village? He's a bit taller than I am, reddish hair, going a bit white.
Have we seen anyone called Demetrius, Kate?
Make a wisdom check
Lol.
to see if you can remember that.
That's a natural one, -1, so that's a 0.
You rolled a 0?
I rolled a 0.
Completely blank.
You
I'm
go
just
back and think, and all of a sudden it's like stage fright. You can't remember a single person you've ever met in your life.
I don't actually know who I am right now, so I can't help you.
A little bit of blood starts trickling from your nose.
Enya starts playing in my head. Yeah, I just blink a few times and shake my head.
That's right.
Incredible.
I'll let you sleep now, and then I just look out the cart, trying to remember anybody ever.
You try.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I think at one point, sorry.
No, go for it.
I think at one point Ren will sort of lean over to Helene and be like, really sorry to ask this, but could I get my cloak back?
Oh, yes,
sorry.
Yes, and she takes off and she says, I'm sorry, I didn't know who these were. There's a couple others, and you see that she's neatly folded them.
It's adorable.
Oh my god, she's the best.
Ren will use the cloak to cover his arms and his neck as best he can.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. About 4 hours in, you begin to hear this noise. You come out across this large open field. You've been traveling pretty steadily on a downward incline, but now you see as it tapers off for a moment, and there's a very, very large open field. But you just continue through. No real problems. It's very, very large field. You can just see the other side of the forest.
Do we see anything unusual about the field?
Make a perception check.
Natural 20.
Not necessarily you don't necessarily see anything unusual about this, but very, very quiet, almost silently, not silently though, almost in the back of your head, you just hear subtle.
Oh my god. Is it getting louder?
They are coming.
And you just hear as it's slowly getting louder and the ground begins to rumble. And okay.
Yeah.
And as you're going faster and faster, on the other side, the trees on the other side are getting closer and closer. And
woo! Got the robot voice going.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to talk like this now. Um,
Whoa.
who is it? Okay, Susan, stop. As the trees on the other side are getting closer and closer, just on the other side, you see something all of a sudden break through the forest cover. I need you guys to all roll initiative for me, please.
Fuck. I was not expecting this.
Augie's done. Oh
Oh,
God.
Natural 20. Wow.
Ooh, look at you. Where is my pen?
25.
I've lost this 3 times already during the session. Ooh.
Has it been in your pocket the whole time?
No, I put it there because I was like, I'm going to remember it's here. And then I did not.
Yeah.
Okay, so 25 to 20.
25.
Okay.
That means I have to go
20
first.
to 15.
18.
Okay. 15 to 10.
12.
Okay.
Oh no.
Classic.
10 to 5.
8.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Add your initiative
I'm-
bonus, Emma?
What'd you get, Miller?
I got a 5.
Did you add your initiative bonus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's in
Hey.
character. He's exhausted.
He's real tired, guys.
So tired.
Oh, I get disadvantage, don't I?
Oh, that's
Same.
We roll lower.
Yep, that's right. Thank you for remembering that. Yes, because you are exhausted. Okay. Oh, and just to note that this is technically in a field on a hill, so this is not in the forest. So you all watch as erupting from the trees, you see a flock of birds take off as this hulking, huge figure appears, standing about 7, 8, 10 feet tall.
Oh, shit.
This large, overgrown mass of muscle carrying what seems to be a broken tree trunk and is lumbering towards you all. It's about, I'd say, 120 feet off from you. So, Ren, you're first. What would you like to do?
So just to clarify, this is like a humanoid, like a giant humanoid kind of thing, like a giant. So a giant.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's far. It's away. It looks like a normal human where you're standing right now, and it's about 120 feet away.
Cool. It looks unfriendly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like attacking
Yeah,
sort of
you're
level.
with a giant tree.
Yeah. I mean, did
You
see
can.
the
You can make an insight check for your action if you'd like to determine whether it's.
See, the shoot first, ask questions later thing has gotten us into some shit. So I don't want to. I'm gonna. Do I want to do this insight check? Do I want to waste my turn on an insight check if this thing is charging toward us? Huh.
You can also take your turn.
I think I will hold my turn until it makes an attack on one of us, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, actually, can I bonus action now and hold the rest of my turn? Is that a thing that I can do?
What is the bonus action?
I would just say like Moroth attack if it attacks us, kind of thing.
Roll initiative for Moroth.
Okay.
Or wait, actually, I'll do that because you haven't gotten the third part of the. Never mind. I'll do that. Okay. So I will. Yeah. Okay. That goes. Okay. So we'll get to Moroth, but you bonus action. You just want to tell him to
Be ready to attack, basically.
be ready to attack. Okay. Okay. So it is now the hill giant's turn. So it's going to use its action to double dash, and so now it's only about 40 feet away from you as it's. You see now it is it's huge. It's got like this mouth is foaming almost, and it's covered in dirt, and you can see the muscles of it just. It's got a simple, almost loincloth looking thing and sandals, and carrying its club. It looks angry. You can see in its eyes.
Maybe should have shot first. I love.
All right, Val, it's now your turn.
So we're like in a big old field, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no trees. Shit.
Big open field.
Can I take the cart, because I'm driving the cart right now, and can I kind of like just move it out of the way of the path of the giant? Is that a thing that I could do?
Yeah, you can try and turn. Make an animal handling check as you are turning the horses away.
Come on, baby. Do I add anything to that? 21.
21. Okay, so yeah, you rapidly pull left, and you hear the horses just as they begin to turn, and you, at the end of this round, I'm gonna since you all are on the cart in terms of movement, unless you explicitly say you get off the cart, you're gonna move about 40 feet per round in a direction. Okay, Tam, it is now your turn.
Okay, there's really sweet FA I can do. I'm gonna cast. All right, I'm gonna try and cast hypnotic pattern on it and get it to stop. So it needs to make a I think it needs to make a. You send a short message. Oh, sorry, that's sending. I'm looking at the completely wrong spell. It needs to make a wisdom save of 16.
Wisdom save? All right.
Yeah.
Which it fails with a 5.
Oh, sick. Okay, so a twisting pattern of colors appears in front of it, and it just stops and looks at it for up to a minute. And I tell everyone, don't fucking attack it, otherwise the spell stops working.
Okay. So you watch as this hulking mass all of a sudden. Do any of you speak giant by any chance? I don't think so. Okay. Yes, you just.
He's so good.
Okay.
Oh, I love him.
It's Moroth's turn, who is standing ready to fight and is just waiting, looking at Ren. Nora, that's going to be your turn.
Nora's quite visibly having a panic attack. But,
can you make a wisdom saving throw for me then?
Oh. That's a natural one.
Oh my god.
No, that is the fourth one in this session.
How do you think that you go catatonic, or do you think that you would need to run?
I think she would just freeze.
Okay. You all watch as Nora goes catatonic and just seeing this and begins to not breathe and is just staring, struck by the force of this great, big, huge, lumbering mass. Okay, Augie, now your turn.
Takes out a sword and shield, stepped in front of Nora and is just holding until if the giant makes an attack.
Okay. It's Helene's turn. She is going to hide.
Good girl.
Good call. Good call.
Not bad. You guys can see her, but you get the feeling. Well, the giant is a bit distracted. However, at the moment, it seems as though would hypothetically be unable to see. Top of the round, you guys move. I'll say you move the first 20 feet towards, and then so you're about 20 feet away from it, and then veering off to the left now, with the turning, just given basic physics is kind of what I was thinking. And you're now 20 feet this way, so you're now diagonal away from the path of this giant. Ren, it's now your turn.
So it's completely distracted, right? And we're just trying to get around it.
Yes.
Okay. Then
as far as you know.
And Tam yelled
all
out.
You heard was Tam said, "Don't attack it."
Okay. Would you? So I noticed that Nora has frozen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then,
yes. Make a perception check because you're probably a little distracted by the giant.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say perception check with disadvantage.
Oh, well, I rolled a natural 20, but I guess I'll roll again then.
Sorry.
Oh, worse. 16. 16.
16? Yes, you would notice.
Okay. Ren doesn't really know what to do, but he wants to do something, so he's gonna kneel down next to her.
I'm not that small.
No, but if he's sitting, I don't know, are you sitting? He's gonna kneel down so he's eye level and just sort of gently shake her arm and be like, Nora, snap out of it, we need you.
Okay. It's the hill giant. We'll see when we get to Nora's turn. The hill giant it's not a reroll on their turn, is it?
Damn it. Spell ends if an affected creature takes any damage or someone else uses an action to shake the creature out of its stupor, so not at the end of every turn.
Okay. So the hill giant is just transfixed by these mystical patterns that are happening in front of it. Val, it's now your turn.
I am just gonna now that we veered off course, I guess my main goal is to just go around the thing and then just keep on trucking. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna continue to go away from the monster and then get the hell away from it.
Okay. Make another animal handling check then.
Yeah. Oh. That's a hot 12.
12. A little bit wider than it takes, but still relatively you're going back on the same path, so it wasn't a very high DC. So you managed to veer back on, and you kind of feel the cart sway for a bit and feel it go back down.
That was just as horrible.
It's Moroth's turn. It's Moroth's turn, and is still, since was told to get ready to fight, but has not been given anything. It's just running alongside the cart. Nora, would touch aggravate the panic that you're currently in? Or
I don't know. Can I roll something to find out? I don't think.
Here, just make another wisdom saving throw for me, please.
15, so 17. No, actually, 18. 17.
Okay. I'd say at this point, you're still in that sense of panic, but you look up and you just see Ren staring at you, kind of garbled language. You don't hear exactly what he's saying, but you do register that he's there. So I will say that you can use your next turn to do something if you so wish.
Okay.
Okay, Augie, it's your turn.
Same thing. I'm just gonna holding my action.
Okay. Wait, Tam, did I skip you?
Yeah, I think you might
I'm
have
so
skipped me.
sorry. I was like, wait a minute. Tam, what would you like to say?
I'm just gonna keep concentrating on the spell, and I'll hold. I don't know. No, I'm just gonna hold my action to attack it. If it comes near enough, it won't. But yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Ellie,
actually, I'm so sorry.
what's up?
Could I actually go up to the front and help Val with the steering? And like, or at least just like, I don't know, be a cheerleader and be like, yeah, that way, this way.
Okay. Since you're attempting to move on a moving cart that's moving very, very fast, I'm going to need you to make an athletics check for me.
Okie dokie. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. That's a 15.
Okay. Yeah, you manage to get up in front and sit down next to Val.
Okay.
Okay. Ren, it's your turn.
Same thing. I will just sort of hold my action for if the thing breaks out of its stupor and tries to attack us. Then I will shoot it.
I'm guessing you guys are all holding your action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I get an action now?
Yeah.
Breaking out of like this frozen state, Nora just like lurches forward and places a hand on the back of Oggy and casts False Life. So these shadows just spring out of nowhere and like surround you, and you get. Sorry, I should have done this. She casts it at 2nd level, and you get. Oh, nice! You get 11 points.
Ooh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Of temporary hit points.
Temporary, okay.
Okay.
It feels a bit weird.
Oh.
It's very dark.
Okay. So, you guys end up making it across the rest of this field. We're out of combat now because good job.
Nice spell. Thank you.
Wow.
It's so clutch.
I'm a little frustrated, but it's fine.
I'm sorry, Kate.
Oh my gosh, no, it's fine. I love that you guys found an
Once
alternative
we
way.
didn't fight something.
Look at us. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of you guys. Good
Maybe
job.
character development, I say.
Wow.
Oh.
All right. So you managed to make it across the field and break through the trees while still hearing the chuckle of the giant behind you as it slowly fades into the distance.
He's having a great time. We gave him like.
When we get far enough distance away, though, can I like slow the horses down a little bit so they're not exhausted?
Mm-hmm.
Just like still moving, but not like at the rapid pace. Because
yeah,
these boys are probably thirsty.
Mm-hmm. I would say so.
Okay.
Okay. So,
should we check on the hiding lady?
she pops up at this. Yeah, she's at this point. She pops up to you. I've never seen one of those up close.
Yeah, glad we didn't get any closer though.
You all do things like this often.
Not usually that well, but yes.
Yeah.
You caught us on a really good day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Impressive. Regardless.
Tam's gonna turn to the group and be like, should we give everyone over Lashy some warning? Specifically, fuck, I'm gonna call her Nala again. What's her name?
Nally?
Nolly, yeah. Yeah. Every time it just goes to the Lion King. Do you want me to send a message to Nolly to tell her that we're coming?
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna sit down and cast sending.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, hi Nolly. We made it back with one victim. Lots happened, but we'll be back in a few hours. Hope everything's okay. Okay, bye.
You hear on the other side, you hear a subtle catch breath. Yes. Come. Hi. Yes. Yes, we'll be very, very happy to see you. Glad to hear from you. Glad to hear you're not. We thought after we hadn't heard from you after a while, you were good to hear. Yes, please. Hope all is well. And that's the message
Okay.
cuts off.
Yeah, right. Right, they know we're incoming.
How far out are we?
Based on your perception, you'd estimate about 2 hours.
Okay.
Ren's just gonna sort of kneel again next to Nora and check in a little bit. Just be like, "You all right? We haven't done that before."
Yeah. Let's just get back to the village. I really don't want to be here anymore.
Right.
Okay. So you spend the remaining 2 hours and get back to the village, whereupon you see breaking out of the clearing. At this point, you're at a gentle trot. See that there are people on the street now with brooms and things kind of sweeping. See some with pieces of torch and are beginning to light the roofs and things, just basically trying to regain some semblance of the city, kind of clean up. And you see Loris against one of, like, kind of leaning against one of the posts and kind of sees you and goes, and sees whisper something into his amulet and comes up, kind of waving slowly and encouraging them to stop, and goes, well, aren't you all a sight for sore eyes?
Nice
Come
to
on.
see you.
Been gone for a while. Come on.
We'll follow him.
Okay. Leads you back to the center of town, where you see set up is the still where you last left it is the Magic Guild Hall. Here, instead of up in the hall, and he kind of takes down, he sees Helene and goes, ah, yes, miss, hi, yes, do you need help? And she goes, thank you, and gently helps her down and helps the rest of you, and goes, I'm going to take these horses to the stables. I would recommend going to see Nali. She hasn't seen you in quite a bit and got concerned.
Will do.
And kind of turns to her and goes, and he goes, and you are? And she goes, Helene Farron. And goes out to shake his hand, very diplomatic, and he goes, Farron, I see. Well, we have your children, actually. Would you like me to take you to them? Just, yes, please. Yes, it's been quite a while. I'd like to see them if at all possible. Have you seen my husband? And he goes, let's take you to your children. And slowly leads her away in the opposite direction. But you all see the Magic Guild open in front of you.
I guess we go in.
Yeah.
Just to note, like Ren is just working real hard to keep himself covered.
Okay. Got you. As you all walk in, it's set up in a similar space of it's just very, very long hallways with hundreds of rooms spanning out, except for it's quite less of a hustle as it was earlier in here. Nolly, and it's actually empty in comparison to what it was last time. You hear quite hubbub behind each door, but there's no one out immediately in the hallway. One or two stragglers, maybe. So you guys just are standing here in the middle of this hall.
Can we try to go up to her room? Do we know where it is? Because it's gotten really big now. But
Make an investigation check to see if you can find her room.
Can Ren also do this?
Yeah.
Nora's just gonna slip away from the party. Go find the library.
9.
13.
13 wasn't a particularly high DC. There is a room entering on the immediate right that is decorated in some simple blue arcane symbol. And you take that to be Nolly's room based on it's the same door as it was previous in terms of aesthetics.
We knock.
Okay. You knock and wait a few moments. Then you see the door burst open. She goes, hi, everyone. So glad to see you're back. We were worried you were gone and we didn't know and we hadn't heard from you and we assumed the worst.
Sorry about that. It was a rough little while. We're back now, though. We brought one survivor.
I'm glad to hear it, but first I'd like to hear what's been happening for the past, 6 days?
You're muted, Alice.
Oh, Tam, sorry. Has it been that long? 6 days.
Do you know, you've
Did we
been
think-
gone almost a week.
Did we think it was 6 days? Like from our
No, you did
perspective?
not.
Okay.
What?
Not from your perspective.
It's been 3 days. 4 days, tops.
I just want to establish also Nora's not there, so in case Charlie doesn't think Nora's dead.
Yes. But we are going to take a short break there.
Oh, okay.
So we will be back in 10 minutes or so, just to take a little break for us. So, little break.
Hi. Bye.
Oh, wow, that's very easy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's pick back up with Nora. So, upon entering the guild hall, I need you to roll an investigation check to see if you can find a library, because it has been repurposed as more of a asylum or sanctuary for people that have been displaced from their homes.
13.
13? Okay. It takes you a better part of 5-10 minutes, but eventually you're able to open one of the doors and you see the library. There aren't any people in there, but looking over, you do see a familiar small little white rabbit in a to kind of look up.
You're still around. I'm gonna just browsing.
Kind of just pops over and continues. You see right now, little.
Gonna go away like the fat section. He's gonna take the book from house that came from Gil's shelf. She's gonna find the right put it on the shelf.
Take a moment. Remember to do some. Okay, she can go here. Put it where it needs to go. The room itself is unchanged as to what the guild hall previously. It's still circular, and despite being on the first floor of this, it's still maintains its circular shape, and it's got the window above that shows the stars.
She's just gonna kind of slide down the bookshelf, sit cross-legged on the floor, and have Oscar appear in her lap and just sit there and think with him.
Gently nuzzles into you. And kind of sits and swats next to you. Okay. Anything else? Okay. While you're doing that, the rest of you have just Nolly has now ushered you all inside to her room, which is a bit messy, but it looks similar to the room that she had previously. There are things knocked around the side, and that there's a spare change of clothes sitting on a chair that she kind of jumps onto the floor and lets you sit down if you so wish. Kind of offers the chair.
Wait. 6 days. Is that normal
Yes.
in the Feywild for this
I-
time?
I
Wow.
wouldn't really know. I know that there are time dilations, but I didn't expect that being as just the. I'm not quite sure. We've experienced a little bit of these time dilations with people and going out to scouting parties, going out and then coming back 15 minutes later, having been gone for us for 15 minutes, them having been gone for several days. I guess now vice versa.
Okay. That means, I mean, can we even try and get in contact with other cities or other places? Because, like, is it just going to be like 10 years time for them in the future or in the past or something? Is it maybe the further you go, the worse it gets?
we've been in contact. We've got quite a lot of distressing and alarming reports from various other cities, various other acquaintances of ours. And it seems to not be an isolated event, this combination between the Feywild and our plane. At least that's the best way we can describe it. We've been calling it the amalgamation. This event seems to be happening everywhere, not just this continent.
Is it just the Feywild, or are other dimensions spilling in?
From what we've seen so far, it's been mostly just Feywild. I'm not in contact with everywhere yet. We haven't heard from everyone. It seems to be a large amount of distress regardless from both places. But I do know one or two contacts that live in the Feywild. I've been trying to get in contact with people that are from other planes, but interplanar messaging is proven difficult.
Yeah.
What have you heard from?
What?
What have you heard from so far?
So far, we've heard from the people in Snovsk, as well as one of the leading rulers, several places in Kantel. We've heard from both Aronmi and Hal, and we've heard one distress call from Gar, but since reaching out, we have not had any further correspondence, just the initial distress call.
Anything from Hegel or Cleo?
Clea, no, we have not heard as well. Quinby, however, has left to Clea. He has had family there and went to go check on there. And it was worth dispatching because I need my eyes on the different things. Suntina, so far what we've heard is in ruins. Nothing, and no one has been heard from Leon, the capital, and anything very south east of the Lan River we haven't heard.
Has anybody figured out the initial point of this? Like, was it like a bomb where there was a blast point? That's one place where it's the worst, or is it kind of just horrible all over?
From the contacts that I have in other regions, at many of the news cycle festivals, these people appeared very similar to how it was described for us with the reeds and caused this. It seems to be an attack by a group or an organization, not just one person. We have, however, narrowed down how to control these time dilations. Not necessarily control, I should say. We figured out the primary thing affecting them, and it appears to be, the best I can describe it is height. The higher up you go, the less it seems to affect, and the lower you go, the more time seems to slow down.
Like an altitude?
Yes, but not necessarily. There are different points on the continent where the altitude is higher, but it's confusing, and we've nearly cracked it, but we just haven't quite gotten it yet.
Do you have any leads on who these people are, where they came from, what they want?
Some tricky arc they haven't been the first thing to cross my mind, but I wouldn't put it past them. Other than that, perhaps some terrorist groups. When we first met you, we were talking a little bit about the Queen And the spiders, they seem to have more of an understanding on the basics of what's happening there, but I don't want to say in case I'm wrong. We don't quite have a lead so far. Mostly we're just trying to assess damages and see exactly what's happened and who's affected.
What should we be doing?
Right now, the most important thing is just figuring out what and who is affected by this. While you were out, did you see anything peculiar? Did you see anything where perhaps there was leakage? Did you see any sort of dangerous creatures, anything out of the ordinary that wasn't in the last time?
Other than the meanlock, we did see a hill giant, but as far as I know, those exist in the ordinary world, don't they?
Yes, but not usually this close towards.
Oh, yeah, we had a bit of a close call with the hill giant. Other than that, I mean, some of the trees were really weird, translucent leaves.
Anything completely different? Any, I don't know, any rivers that were there that weren't there before? Any deserts? Any fires? Completely out of the ordinary.
Ren, knowing this area, can he pinpoint anything?
The chasm was new.
Okay. That's okay. I'll tell her that. The chasm that these meanlock had dragged people into, it didn't look of this world or the old world.
We'll have to. And she kind of takes you over to a map and says, "Would you mind showing precisely where this was?"
I'll do that if I can.
Make a intelligence check.
Okay. I do. Let me make sure there's not like a ranger thing for this, because there might be something.
Map making.
No, there's natural explorer, which means. Oh wait. Hello? I thought there was something where like you can't get lost. You know where you are at all times, but I don't know. I'll just make a roll. What was the roll?
I think in your preferred terrain, it's difficult for you to get lost.
Yeah, I can't find the exact line on D&D Beyond, but
okay.
Yeah. I can just make a roll.
Yeah, just make a roll for me.
Nature, what was it?
Intelligence, just
intelligence. Oh boy. Oh, 19.
Pretty quickly you're able to, you kind of take a moment and trace down the line, and then you think it's there. And so she takes that and takes a quill and she shows it and she goes, "And do you know how wide across it was?" And you give the specifics of this, and she kind of shows it. Okay. Looking at this map, you see that there are it's a map of the entire continent. Actually, it's huge, and there seem to be different things. There's crudely drawn houses where there weren't before in towns, and there's also trees drawn many different places, as well as there's a new river that's formed, and she's slowly but surely, you can see as she gets information, is updating this map.
Is the new lake over the underbrush there on that? The lake that, like the earthquake, and you know what I'm talking about?
You told them that.
Okay, cool.
Yes. So then, yes, that would be there. There's a little blue.
Okay. Looking at the map, like, just knowing terrain, I guess, can Ren deduce any pattern? Like, can he tell anything from the map? Like, I don't
know. Make a insight check. See if you can just
16.
16. There's no particular. It's not necessarily that there isn't any rhyme or reason. You can tell that there's some sort of pattern, but it's confusing and you can't seem to quite figure it out.
Okay. So, is there any specific mission or line of investigation that we should follow?
I have been a bit concerned. I haven't heard from one of my contacts in Cantel. He responded and sent out a distress call quite close to Rita. But other than that, I haven't heard from him since, and I'm a bit concerned. He's quite eccentric, is the word I would say.
Sorry, close to what?
Rita?
Rita.
R-H-E-I-T-E-R.
R-H.
Which you know is
Okay, there we go.
Which you know is a city in the region of
Okay.
kind of right in the middle of it.
How far is Cantel from? Is it a bordering land to Valachi?
Valachi, you guys are down here.
Mm-hmm.
Cantel is this big region up here.
Okay.
They're being about right there. So it's about
Okey-doke.
halfway up the continent.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Jeez.
So, this person, what was his name?
His name is. Where is it? 1 second. I have this written down.
Also, what time is it? What month is it? What is the year?
Where am I?
Name all of the drinks that you have on your sheet. Go.
Uh-huh. Don't look at anything.
Okay. It is 6 days into the new cycle of the Cloven Elf. Which
Actually, yeah, that one was an easy one because we just had a new year.
just had New Year. So there you go.
Whoop.
Oh, there it is. Yes. His name is Oliver. He's, as I can describe it, as a collector of the arcane and the wildly eccentric. He's a very good, confident, and he knows quite a lot. It'd be a shame to have lost him. However, his first call was strange and peculiar. He mentioned something about people trying to find his work and saying that he was close to finding something, but was nearly there. Something was evading him, and he was very paranoid that something or someone was coming to attack him, and that was the last I heard from him.
How long ago was this?
This was about 3 days ago. We've been collecting intel, but there's been issues of people going missing, and well, this seems to be quite his expertise. He tends to know a lot, and I'd very much like to hear his ideas about this, but he's not answering my messages, so.
Based on what you've figured out about the time dilation, how long would it have been for him since we heard from him? If it was 3 days here, do you know?
I truly don't know.
So it could have been any length of time.
Yes. Which is why I'm concerned.
So
If he's been missing for 3 months now, and it's only seemed as though 3 days for us, I don't know.
and do you think this man may have been close to figuring something out about all this? Is that what he hinted at? Or
He's a brilliant man. I wouldn't put it past him. The arcane is his expertise. If there's anyone in the world who would know something about this, it would be Oliver.
Oliver? Okay. So I suppose this is urgent then that we find him.
If at all possible. I recognize that, well, given the arcane and how dangerous this is, I'm guessing that the guild won't be in legality for much longer. But if you wouldn't mind, it would be a great help to not only me, but to all of Elzheim.
I think we need to speak with everyone present before we commit, but I think this is something we can do.
Yeah. I think we need to travel. I think we need to get out of Valashi if we're going to help.
Yeah, I think
It's at this point that Ren, given your power perception, looking around at your friends, you notice that Nora is there.
Yeah. I think we need to speak about this, maybe have some dinner or something. I don't know what time it is. Take a break and then hit the road. Was there anything else that you can think to tell us?
Was there anything else that you need? This is why you guys always have your notes pulled up. There's not much that I can think of.
Okay.
How's your brother?
He's coping. He's got quite a large heart, and so he's been having difficulty handling his emotions.
Right, well,
Quick question. For this mission, how much support might we have for it? Can we bring anyone?
Honestly, most of the guild members are out currently. I can't leave. My brother and I are trying to maintain things here. Anslo and Oli have gone on their own separate mission, as well as gone with Carly. I think maybe Abington may be here, but he as well is about to set out on a journey towards the capital to see what we can scrounge up. We're spread pretty thin here right now.
That's fair. All right. Well, we'll leave you to it. I'll let you know if and when we plan to head out.
All right. Make sure you do. I'm certain while we do have a lot of manpower, we can certainly provide some perhaps things to help on your journey, kind of looking over at Arby, seeing how he is. Mm-hmm. Try and do some healing things and anything in our armory, or we can try and make use of.
That would be useful. Most certainly, yes, please. All right. Cheers. And Ren's just gonna go try to find Nora.
Okay.
Which means
anything
that he's going to the library.
Anything else that you guys want to talk to Nolly about, or heading with Ren?
I'm just going to give Nolly a hug and say, I'm sorry if we scared you by not saying where we were for 6 days.
Kind of, as you go in, she kind of stiffens a bit, and as you go to hug, she kind of softens into it.
Oh.
Thank you. It's been a long time, but glad to see you all right. Glad to see you all right.
Yeah, you too. All right. See you in a bit.
Kind of, she goes and sits down at the desk and kind of puts her hands on her face in her hand for a moment, and then goes back to poring over what seems to be several maps.
Oh. Yeah. Has Ren gone off by this point? Just
I would say
Yeah.
I'm guessing that Val and Augie are also following behind.
yeah.
So,
Like-
so you can either all roll investigation checks or one person roll with advantage.
What do you guys want to do?
Let's all roll.
Sounds good.
Natural 20.
Hey!
19.
I got 14.
Hold on. Is it perception we're rolling or investigation?
Investigation.
19.
Okay. So the three of you are able to very quickly make it over and find what appears to be the library. It's actually the door was left slightly cracked and warm light is spilling from it. Tam, looking around, you're very quickly able to spot them, just get on right in. Nora, you're kind of sitting at one of the armchairs, lost in thought for a moment, and you see the rest of your party slowly peek their head at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I was. Anyway,
Yeah, we could not hear you.
just the heads will pop up one by one.
Ren's gonna do one of these like come out here kind of things because he's like skeeved by the library. He doesn't want to like speak in the library, like break the silence.
There's no one else in the library. It's okay.
But the bunny though.
The bunny.
Me and the bunny have a friendship going on, I think.
You kind of go over and you see the bunny kind of just standing there and goes like, kind of like in a like at you like in a friendly demeanor kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, well then, I guess you can speak in here. We just had a conversation with Nali. It sounds like this thing which they're calling the amalgamation has spread across large swaths of the continent. They haven't heard from some parts of the continent, so we don't know the extent fully. But they need us to investigate a distress call, and I give her the rest of the details of the quest, which Jess was there for, so I don't need to reiterate. I know it's a lot to turn around and go back out after all of that, and I don't want to be pushing anyone because I did that last time and it didn't go very well. So there's the facts, and I leave the decision making up to other people.
My dad used to tell me this story when I was a kid. It's a fairy tale. About
Can everyone mute? Because there's like a machine noise.
Zip me.
I could tell it to you if you like. Anyway, so once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a king and a queen, and they were very kind rulers, and they were very much loved by their people. They had 3 sons, and they were good, polite boys, and they were a very happy family. But the queen, she had one wish, and she wanted to have a daughter because she was getting older and she knew she wouldn't have another chance to be pregnant again. So, in her desperation, she reached out to a lady. She was a powerful druid and asked for her help. And she saw the desperation and agreed to help her. And 9 months later, she gave birth to a beautiful little girl. But in bringing a new life to the world, she unknowingly gave her own. After giving birth, she passed away because the druid woman who had helped her was dark and power hungry. And the king and his sons, they grieved greatly at the entire kingdom. In his grief, the druid woman worked her way closer to the king, and years later, the king married her. He made her the new queen. And they were happy for a short while, but she wasn't a nice lady, and she grew jealous of the king's love for his children and the kingdom's love because they preferred them over her. So she kept the children inside, away from the public. But it didn't make any difference, and the druid woman became angry and bitter as the years passed by. So one day, the druid asks the children if they want to spend a day at the beach. And they're delighted at being able to spend a day away from the castle. So they join her. And they spend a day playing on the beach, in the sand, in the sea, and they're laughing. And they have real freedom for the first time in a long time. And the druid watches them. And the sun begins to set. And they tire and they sit on some rocks by the shoreline. And the druid lady stands behind them and she pulls out a dagger. It's a long, curved dagger, and she raises it to strike. But at the last minute, she falters, and she looks upon the smallest child, the girl she helped bring into the world. Rather than strike with her dagger, she transforms the children into 4 beautiful swans. And in a scatter of white feathers, they fall from the rocks harmlessly into the sea. And they turn to her as though to speak. But rather than speaking their human voices, this beautiful song comes out. And hearing this haunting song, the druid is filled with such sorrow and grief that she casts herself among the rocks and she falls into the sea and disappears among the sea foam. And the swan song continues. And it grows louder and louder, and it permeates throughout the kingdom, and crowds gather at the beach far and wide. And then the king shows up. And though their forms are changed, he knows in his heart that the swans are his children. And he knows how the druid must have betrayed them all. And he begs the swans to leave the sea and to speak to him in their own voices, and they can't. They can't leave the ocean, they can only sing. And they are bound to the sea forever. From then on, the king visits the beach every day to listen to them sing. And many years pass until one morning he doesn't show. And in the distance, the children hear the funeral bells, the same bells that rang out after their mother died. And with no father,
to sing for, they leave the shore and they travel the ocean, and they still sing, but the only people to hear them are we fishermen on the boats, and they hear the song and they know that they're close to home. 300 years pass before the children return home, and they make it to the shore, and in the distance they see the castle they once lived in is crumbled into stone, and the kingdom has been washed away by time, and the gale starts to blow, and they hear bells once more. And the youngest child, the little girl, for the first time in 300 years, steps onto the shore. And as the feet touch the sand, her feathers fall away. And she stands there human once more, but her skin is not young and pink as it once was. It's old and wrinkled. And her brothers follow her. And they stand side by side, holding hands as humans once more. And they go to sing their song, but it's lost to them. And instead they just laugh. And the gale blows, and their bodies fall. And they return to the sea as foam once more. I didn't ever used to like that story because I thought it was too sad, but my dad said that not all fairy tales have a happy ending. He was really good at his job. Never really wanted that life for me, but it's the life I chose. He just had one condition: don't go near magic. Not for us. It's not for the bookkeepers. But I thought it might make me better or stronger in some way, but I don't think it has. And I think maybe I should just stick to what I'm good at. So this quest of yours, maybe it's better if you go without me.
Oh. Sorry, that's not happening. We're not leaving you here.
I'm not like any of you. I'm just a librarian. I'm not trained in battle. I don't have any special abilities. My magic was all learned from books, and none of it came to me naturally. I don't think this is what I'm meant to do. I think I just hold you back.
Nora, I've once felt that you've held me back. If anything, you've led me. If you wish to stay because you truly believe that it is the best choice for you, I'm not going to stand in your way. But if you want to stay because you think you're not worthy of this task or us or whatever, you're quite simply wrong. You You may have learned your powers, but that doesn't make them any less real. That doesn't make them any less useful or impactful. If anything, it shows your ingenuity. It is your choice whether you come with us. But don't stay. Don't stay because you don't feel you belong with us, because you do.
Yeah.
Useful.
Sorry, what?
What?
I just don't think I'm very useful here.
I would beg to differ.
You all would.
You have saved our lives just so many times. I think if this party had lost any one of us, the rest of us would not be standing here. Do you all agree? I think we're all vital.
100%. Nori, I can't tell you how impressed I am every time I see you do any magic, but not just any magic, just to get through every day, to get through what you went through yesterday, and to be here still, and to be up and talking and formulating words and sentences properly. You're so strong. I think you can do so much if you let yourself. I was do you remember when we had that fight with Kayleen and the barbarian and all of that? And I got knocked out. Oggy got knocked out. And then I took the head off the barbarian and threw it across the field.
Yep. Yep.
I was so angry because he made me feel helpless, and I was so angry and frightened yesterday because seeing both of you fall unconscious made me feel helpless again. But I think what's scarier is the idea of not going out and not and not pushing through that, and just letting that fear win. That's scarier than anything. And it might not be the same for you, but I think you can beat it.
Yeah, Ren's gonna just sort of like push his cloak away and just hold out his arms and take her by the shoulders and just say, "Good of your scars." But it is your choice.
At this moment, looking above, you see the stars on this window. And they slowly begin to fade ever so slightly. And so subtly, you begin to see a little bit of reds, oranges, and pinks, and yellows as this warm, bright light begins to enclose around the room, just gently reminding you the new dawn and a new morning. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Thanks so much, you guys.
Ow! Right in the feels.
Ow. You're such an angsty monster.
That
I would just like to let you know, if you made an audiobook, I would purchase it in a hot second.
Yeah, I'll buy the shit out of that.
I was
Oh,
already
God.
saying that accent for that long.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thanks you guys so much for joining us. We're gonna head out, but hopefully we can do this again soon.
Soon.
Not tomorrow. We're not gonna start streaming every day as much as I would love to. But I hope you guys all have a great night. Find your friends, tell them that you love them. Hold them close, hold them tight. And we will see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.